The Sports Center, we go for a college football game preview and prediction on the Week 13 matchup between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines. A huge rivalry matchup coming up here in Week 13. That is pretty much a college football playoff game at the same time. You got two teams 11-0 on the season, ranked in the top three. Winner of this matchup is pretty much a lock for the college football playoff. The loser, on the other hand, is still in college football playoff contention, but it's going to be a whole lot tougher moving forward. So lots at stake here. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today. Let's get started with your team trends. Ohio State beat Minnesota 37-3 last week. Nice win for the Buckeyes. This team is 11-0 on the season. Both teams are undefeated and have had incredible seasons to this point. And really, I think we all kind of expected that this was going to happen at the end of the day. Two teams that have got experience, two teams that are built to win on both sides of the ball. It makes perfect sense that we're seeing a game like this once again here in 2023. But for Michigan, they beat Maryland 31-24 on the road. Allowed quite a few points there to Maryland, probably the worst game defensively that Michigan has had all season. I mean, if you look at this team heading into November, they hadn't allowed more than 10 points in any of their games in 2023. And then the past three games, this team has allowed 13, 15, and 24. So that is something to keep in mind. But Michigan, 11-0 on the season. Both teams undefeated. Games be on Saturday the 25th in Ann Arbor. So Michigan is the home team for this matchup. That is a key factor as the Wolverines have a very strong home field advantage. And the spread's going with Michigan by 3.5. That's pretty much your opening spread. So we'll see how that adjusts over the course of the week. But as of now, Michigan is a favorite over under 47.5, and the FPI is going on Michigan's side 55%. Series history, Michigan leads at 60-51. We've seen Michigan win the last two matchups in this series, even though Ohio State before that won several in a row. That's why it was such a big deal when Michigan finally beat Ohio State in 2021. And since then, Michigan has really been the top power in the Big Ten. I feel like even this season, even though the committee has ranked Ohio State higher than Michigan the past few weeks, Michigan still feels like that top power in the Big Ten, the team to beat in the conference, even though for Ohio State being a team that controlled and led Michigan for so long in the conference, that's definitely something that Ohio State wants to change. Your stat comparison, Ohio State 20th in points per game, first in points allowed. This is pretty much a matchup between your top two defenses in the country here as far as points allowed are concerned. So you might think because of that this could be a lower scoring matchup, but I mean, both offenses are incredible as well, so I wouldn't say that's a guaranteed lock taking the under for this one. But Ohio State 20th in pass yards a game, 72nd in rush yards. This is a strong team offensively, and they've really come around as well. I mean, Kyle McCord was a bit of a slow start for this offense at the start of the season, and I said that in September. Once this team starts to heat up offensively, they're extremely dangerous, and we have seen that down the stretch. This team has only gotten better, and I really do believe they're playing their best ball, the most important part of the season, being here in late November. But for Michigan, this team is 61st in passers a game, 43rd in rush yards. This team has a really strong backfield led by Blake Corum, who's rushed for nearly 900 yards this season and 20 touchdowns. He's got 20 touchdowns, and we're not even to the postseason yet, which is incredible for him. But for Michigan, I mean, once again, defensively is where both teams shine most. But then again, I feel like both offenses are incredible. It's just the Big Ten is not a very strong offensive conference, so it definitely makes sense to see these two teams first and second respectively in points allowed. Your recent matchups, Ohio State beat Minnesota 37-3 last week, also beat Michigan State before that 38-3. So two dominant wins the past couple of weeks for this team. Also beat Rutgers, halfway decent Rutgers team there 35-16. Beat Wisconsin on the road 24-10. Also beat Penn State 20-12 back in late October. As for Michigan, beat Maryland 31-24. Beat Penn State, which was a huge win considering all that had happened with the coaching situation before that one. Also beat Purdue 41-13. Shut down Michigan State 49-0. Also beat Indiana 52-7. I will say this as well, though. You consider both teams before November. I feel like Michigan was the better team in comparison to Ohio State before November. But since November has hit, Ohio State has just only been dominant and impressive. And I feel like at this point in the season, Ohio State should definitely be considered to be ranked ahead of Michigan, despite the Wolverines' huge win over Penn State a couple of weeks ago. But for Ohio State, this team, they started the season a bit slow. They've been dominant since. They've only gotten better, and that's definitely something you got to watch out for in predicting games late in a season, and also trying to predict who can win a national title as well. Whoever's playing their best ball late in November is definitely a big candidate to win that national title. And as of now, you got Georgia, you got Ohio State especially as probably your two teams playing their best in November. Washington is not far behind, though. That's a team that I think is still underestimated. Michigan playing well as well, but I just don't think on the same level right now as, say, Ohio State or Georgia. But, I mean, Ohio State, this is a complete team worthy of a national title this season. Kyle McCord's only gotten better. But with McCord being a bit of an inexperienced quarterback, that does make you question whether or not he'll be ready for a huge matchup like this one, or even in the college football playoff moving forward if the Buckeyes get there. But, I mean, for Ohio State, this team is going to have a chip on their shoulder. This is a chance for them to take back the conference. Michigan has been the leader of the conference the past couple of seasons, and even I would say this season too, Michigan has kind of been considered that team to beat in the Big Ten, and Ohio State can shift that if they can beat the Wolverines in this matchup. But for Michigan, this team is more experienced. They are built to win this season as well. J.J. McCarthy being back. Everything about this offense is incredible. Defensively, they have been so strong this season, so consistent as well. November hasn't been quite as good for Michigan, but they're still playing at a very high level defensively. But for Michigan and really for Ohio State, both teams here, I mean, I feel like the winner of this matchup is pretty much a lock. I mean, the winner of this matchup takes on Iowa in the Big Ten title game. And, I mean, whichever team wins this matchup probably will be a 10 or 15-point favorite, I would imagine, against Iowa. So, I mean, this game has the importance of a college football playoff game. I think we've kind of had this on the radar the past few weeks as a game that has significant implications to the college football playoff. So with that, let's get the prediction here for Ohio State and Michigan coming up here in week 13 of action, the big game of the week. And so with that, I mean, this is pretty much a coin toss. You could go either way, but I'm going to be taking Ohio State. 27-23 is my predicted final score. I think the Buckeyes find a way and they win this matchup in the end. It's going to be close. I mean, you got two experienced, complete teams here that are built to win on both sides, but Ohio State, I feel like they're playing a bit better right now. And with everything happening in Michigan, Ohio State's they're gonna find a way. They got a chip on their shoulder. They haven't won this game in a few years now, and they want to take the Big Ten back. And I think Ohio State is able to do that. 27-23. I mean, they've also only gotten better this season. You consider the first part of the year, this team kind of a slow start, but they've only gotten better down the stretch, and I think Ohio State is ready to win this one. So I'm going to say 55% towards Ohio State. This is still a matchup that could totally go either way. I mean, it's going to be tough to play in Ann Arbor, too. I mean, Michigan's got a brutal home field advantage. That was part of the reason why I considered taking Michigan, but I feel like Ohio State is once again just ready to win this matchup. Over-under is 47.5. I'm taking the over for this one. You got your two top defenses statistically in the country here, but I do think both offenses find a way to at least get over that 47.5. But that's a pretty tough line to bet on. But I do think Ohio State covers the spread. It's at 3.5 towards Michigan right now. I think Ohio State's going to find a way to win this matchup and cover that at the same time. But with that, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this matchup. This is the biggest regular season game of the year once again. I feel like it's been this way the past couple of seasons as well. But, I mean, this is pretty much a college football playoff matchup. Winner of this game is more than likely in the college football playoff. But appreciate you guys all watching as always. Stay tuned for more Football Sports Central. Catch you on the next one.